What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Hitman Blood Money, Silent Assassin, Targets Only. Now we're going to do You Better Watch Out, which we're not going to bring any weapons for because we're going to have to go through a frisk search in this one. First things first, and I need to make sure I stress this, go behind that guard and hug the wall. I'll repeat that. Go behind that guard and hug the wall. We need to get into this elevator without getting caught by the camera above it, and that is exactly how you do it. So once we're up here, so this should look familiar because we're going over here. Pick up the aphrodisiac off of this shelf. Let the bodyguard come by, but obviously we're not knocking him out this time. We're going to be getting a different disguise, and I'll show you how. We're going to go over here to the stairwell that'll take us down to the staff floor. Basically, we just need to charge in because we're going to get caught by a guard sitting on a sofa right away. And then just go immediately to the shower right here and very carefully put on this waiter uniform while hiding with the shower walls. You'll notice there was another guard in the locker room. If you're positioned just right, he won't see you changing. But sometimes he's not there at all. So just be very careful. You'll know you screwed up if they see you changing and they aggro. After we get the disguise, we want to go back up to the kitchen, pick up the sausage, pump sedative into it. I recommend doing it in the pantry so that drunken Santa doesn't see us. You'll notice earlier I picked up that aphrodisiac from the shelf in that little corridor. That's because, if I remember correctly, if you're dressed up as a waiter, then the waiter that's tending the bar, who normally gives you an aphrodisiac when you talk to him, I don't think he gives it to you if you yourself are dressed up as a waiter. Thankfully, there's the one on that shelf in the little hallway that we took. So the waiter that goes back and forth between bringing Chad drinks in the jacuzzi, we need him to take the martini glass back to the bar so we can dump the, well, it's aphrodisiac, but that doesn't really roll off the tongue. I'm just going to call it horny juice from now on, because that's literally what it is. We're gonna dump the horny juice into it as soon as we can. So once it's on the bar, pour it in, and now we just have to wait for Chad to get another drink. If you want, you could head over to the grotto to wait for him, but I like, when we have wait periods this long, I like to get like a front row seat of what's happening so that I can very clearly see what's going on. Just because watching the map... Oh, well, I thought that's what I did, but it's not what I did. We actually did go to the grotto. Now, if you're careful, you could just hang out near the jacuzzi. Just try not to let guards stare at you too long, because you don't want them to start seeing through this disguise. But we're going to head to the grotto and wait. I don't remember if I've ever pointed this out or not, but that woman there with the black hair, that's a mystery target. If you can eliminate her, you can earn extra money. But in order to maintain Silent Assassin, you absolutely have to accident kill her, because doing a normal kill, she'll still register as a non-target, and you'll ruin your Silent Assassin that way. So we're just gonna have to wait for Chad to drink his horny juice and come over here. Because what'll happen is that after he does things here in the grotto, he'll head down to the balcony area that's over here, and then we can shove him off. This is really the only... Well, I guarantee you it's not the only way. If you're creative, you could do something else, but it is the easiest and most surefire way to get Chad out of the jacuzzi. And it kind of sucks to do it this way because I've spent years doing nothing but shooting out the glass bottom of the jacuzzi because it's so extremely easy. But there are so many non-target accidents as a result of doing that that it instantly kills the challenge parameters. So unfortunately, that easy option is out of the question. But, I mean, doing it this way is cleaner, I'll give it that. It's just a matter of patience. One thing I should say, though, is that if you even count this as a proper NPC, we are going to be forced to take out Lorne de Haviland's dog. As you can probably tell already, I pumped sedative into that sausage and we're still going to feed it to the dog. That's because unless you can distract the dog in just the right way, the dog will literally become a witness if he sees you killing his owner. Which is really stupid because I don't understand how the dog is going to testify in court. But that's just the way it is. And no, I don't think there's really a good way around the dog other than feeding it the sausage. So, but in all honesty, I don't think the dog doesn't really count as an NPC because even if you do kill it, first of all, shame on you, and secondly, the kill does not count against you and it doesn't ruin your silent assassin at all. So I don't even count the dog as an NPC. But if you do, then it's going to be another mandatory knockout because you really have to take out this dog in order to take Lorne out. I know there's a stage light that you can crush him with in the photo studio, but if I remember correctly, that accident is going to result in the death of at least one of the bikini models that's up there. And also, for the life of me, I have an extremely inconsistent time pulling off that accident. Half the time, Lorne runs away before the stage lights can crush him. Plus, like I said, it causes at least one non-target accident, so it's void for my challenge parameters anyway. But getting back on track to what we're doing. When Chad is in that grotto room, if you open the door and walk in there, it will cancel out their stuff, and then he'll walk to the balcony where we can follow him and just shove him off. Now we're going to need to head up to the studio. And one thing nice about this waiter disguise is that it technically works as a skeleton key that grants you access pretty much everywhere, at the cost of being frisked at certain areas, including this door that takes us to the elevator that takes us up to both the studio and the helipad. So take the elevator up to the studio. We're going to go after Lorne and the blackmail tape. I think I go after Lorne first, if I'm not... No. The blackmail tape I go after first. And we're going to collect this the same way I always do. The other guard that passes through here, as long as he's over near Lorne's room, you can turn the lights off in this room to distract the guard that's in here permanently, and then just pick up the videotape while he's not looking. Just make sure that the other guard who passes through is over near Lorne's room and not over near the studio, because that's when he could walk through and very easily see you. And picking up that videotape is a punishable offense by death. Anyways, now we're in Lorne's room and we're gonna have to drop the sausage for the dog. Now, if you're an absolute purist and you want to try to not take out the dog, then if you're inhumanly fast, then you can probably feed the dog the sausage, and then you have to very quickly shove Lorne off of his balcony while the dog is eating the sausage. Because as soon as the dog does eat the sausage, he runs back to his owner. So if you're inhumanly fast, you can probably do that, but I think it's safer just to knock the dog out, like I always have. I don't really consider it an NPC anyway. But I understand if you're truly that much of a purist, then the best thing, again, I can suggest to you is as soon as Lorne is in position to be shoved off that balcony, feed the dog the sausage in a position where it can't see you, and then with the speed of light, shove Lorne off the balcony while the dog is distracted. Anyways, once we're done, we can return back to the main terrace area. We'll go back to the kitchen stairwell to return to the staff area because we need to put our suit back on. Just make sure the guard that walks through the locker room is not looking. And then you can put your suit back on, and then just run back to the stairwell, and then just return to the kitchen, and then return to the public area, and then you'll be fine. So yeah, once you're back in the public area, you're fine, because you're not trespassing anymore. Get back to the elevator to go back to the pier, and just like when we started, we absolutely have to hug the wall next to the elevator and go behind the guard that's standing in front of the elevator button. That is how you avoid the security camera, and it's absolutely mandatory you avoid that camera, considering that we're not going to be stealing the CCTV videotape in this strategy. So that's how you do it. Unless you count Lorne's dog, then that was targets only. Alright, see you next time.